Recorded today?
Live.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome to the Village of Point Edward Council meeting for March the 28th, 2023. I'm operating as your chair today as Mayor Hand is joining us by Zoom, and we just felt it'd be easier if I chaired from this facility rather than via Zoom. So welcome, Mayor Hand. We'll call the meeting to order, and I'll do the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that this land on which we are gathered today is part of the ancestral land of the Chippewa, Odawa, and Potawatomi peoples, referred to collectively as the Anishinaabe. It is through the connection of the Anishinaabe with the spirit of the land, water, and air that we recognize their unique cultures, traditions, and values. Together, as treaty people, we have a shared responsibility to act with respect for the environment that sustains all life, protecting the future for those generations to come. Move on to item 3, disclosures of pecuniary interest.
No.
Not here.
I have one, and it's operations minutes, item 3. I reside on the block in question about parking restrictions between on Michigan between St. Clair and Malton.
Thank you. And Mayor Hand, you have none? Okay, thank you. We have no planning delegations or public meetings, so we'll move on to adoption of minutes. If somebody wants to move the adoption of the minutes from February 28th.
I'll move that we receive and file minutes from February 28th, 2023.
Seconder. Any comments? I just have one, if I may. Item 1 was ice cream galore presentation. In the comments, it talked about the church parking lot was mentioned as a potential area for customer parking. And I think we talked about that being for police parking. And so if we can just maybe adjust that. And since that time, I've spoken to a number of police officers working for detachment, and they don't feel that we need to be acquiring spaces for them. They say they're fine if people will park on their own lot. So we may want to follow up with Inspector Avery, but whether we need to move forward with that.
Okay.
Any other comments? All in favor? That's carried. No business arising, no one hearing tasks. Financial reports, general operations, financial statements for February 23.
I'll move that total revenues and general operations for the month of February 2023 in the amount of $2,266,407.01 be approved, and that the total expenditures and general operations for the month of February 2023 in the amount of $683,933.19 be approved.
Councilor
second
Burke,
that.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Councilor Drury. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you. Environmental services, financial report.
Move that the total revenues of environmental services for the month of February 2023 in the amount of $0 be approved, and that the total expenditures in environmental services for the month of February 2023 in the amount of $148,670.78 be approved, and that the updated financial statements for the month of January 2023 showing revenues of $502,144.26 and expenses of $102,371.45 be received and filed.
Seconder. Councilor Wandu, thank you. Okay, good look. Let's see if yeah, Mayor Hand. Okay, we'll let Mayor Hand second that one. It's not too late.
Nope.
Okay, seconded by Mayor Hand. And any questions or comments? All in favor? Thank you. No, we're going to do, so we'll do the committee report for operations committee. What we'll do is we'll just do all items except item 3, and then we'll do item 3 approval separate, okay? So we have a mover for the minutes excluding item 3. Yeah.
Okay, I'll note that.
Lauren, do a second?
Sure.
Okay. Any comments on the report excluding item 3? I'm just gonna do a quick update on that.
I'll just move out for now.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Steve is gonna go to a workshop on urban forest management. And we are looking at bringing in a winter washroom, and it was added to the budget for this year for the winter, so that's potentially good news. The budget items below were reviewed at budget, and here we're looking at options and pricing for a memorial hanging basket program that was also included in the budget. So, in favor of everything except 3. Okay. Thank you. And then item 3 was the committee recommended that based on the complaint of parking in that block, that we send a letter out to neighbors asking if they have the same concerns, and then move forward from there if we do it all. So, any comments? Jim, has the letter been drafted or?
Yep.
And has it gone out yet? Or
No, no, one week. I
Okay.
got it. It's about half.
Okay. All right. Okay, so all in favor of that item? Okay, thank you. Yep, you're voting. Bev, or you want to talk?
Muted.
You're muted right now, Bev.
I'm having trouble hearing. Is the volume turned up? I may have to move, but
Yeah, the volume on
it's
our
hard to
end
hear.
would just be the microphone's picking up.
Okay, you're like, that was better right there, but, okay, I'll just keep listening.
So this has to people kind of keep their voice up.
We've actually budgeted money for improved microphones, so. get that fixed.
Yeah.
I'll speak up a bit too, Bev. I might be talking down into my laptop versus up to the microphone. Yeah,
Grab Tim Forestry's. But you work while you're here.
Thank you, sir.
okay, next item is the fire committee report.
Okay, so I will move that the minutes of the fire committee held March 14th be approved as circulated.
I'll second that.
And I just wanted to make a comment. Do we have a plan? Because it was brought up at committee about moving forward with fire, the plan for the fire ban or the
We're
fire.
gonna have something at the next meeting.
At the next committee meeting? Okay.
And then it'll be brought to council after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a mover and seconder. Any other questions? So all in favor? Thank you. Environmental services, Councilor Burgess.
Move that the minutes of the Environmental Services Committee meeting held March 14th, 2023 be approved as circulated.
This. Seconded.
Gotta wait for-
Deb, do you want to second that Environmental Services Committee meeting? I think that is yes. Either doing yoga or voting yes.
Well, that's her hand. That's
Okay,
her
got
hand.
it. Okay, seconded by Mayor Hand. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Finance Committee, Councilor Wandu.
I'll move that the minutes of the finance committee meeting held on March 14th, 2023 be approved as circulated.
Seconded by George. No, all, Councilor Burgess. Okay, any discussion, comments? No, all in favor? Yeah, approved. We'll move on to miscellaneous reports. We have the police service board minutes from January 19th, 2023.
Also move.
Moved by Councilor Wandu, second by Councilor Burgess. Any questions, comments? I was just comment say it was nice to see we had some people participate and some new items came up and they were able to get answers directly from both the police officers in attendance and the committee. So that was a nice to see that They were coming right to the source for their complaints and feedback. All in favor of the minutes? It's carried. Communication, the city of Cambridge has a letter about barriers for women in politics. And what kind of a motion are you looking for?
I was kind of anticipating maybe one motion for all three of those items.
Okay.
To receive, I was, whatever you want to do, if you want to receive and file, or if you want to support them, we can send letters in support of them as well. And they can be dealt with separately too, it's whatever. So, receive and file is what you wish to do, that's,
So just for people watching or here, the first one is about removing barriers to women to enter and to serve in politics. The other letter was about an initiative to make a better effort to end homelessness. And the other letter was about the accuracy of the permanent register of electors. And I think that is an issue, is it not?
It
Where
is, yeah.
every time we go to do an election campaign, there's a lot of errors in that list, so. So the city of Cambridge had a letter for the barriers to women. Petrolia had the other two letters.
Is there an action plan with that? Do we know of them?
but the barrier to women in politics, no, not that I'm aware of.
That's why I was just wondering what we're endorsing, like, I'm obviously in favor of removing barriers for anybody who feels marginalized, whether it's women, minorities,
Disabled.
anybody who. But I'm just curious specifically if there was an action plan for that.
It doesn't, there's nothing in the motion that specifically, like no specific action plans.
So I would just go to receive and file that one then.
Second by Councillor Drury. In favor? So we're receiving and filing the first letter, Mary Ann, okay, in favor, thank you. The second one is end homelessness initiative. Do we have a motion for that one? What do we want to do?
Obviously, we would support that. I would think, I don't want to speak on everybody, but again. Are they looking for us to send a letter along or just to sign on with something they're sending?
That's exactly like they're looking, kind of the countrywide effort to put more resources to homelessness. And I think supporting this correspondence would indicate our council support for that.
And Mayor Hand, does the county level comments on that?
Yep, sorry. I had my hand up, but I don't know why it doesn't show there. We're already supporting, we are supporting the county. We just passed the budget with the large amount over the 10-year plan to increase the availability of homes in Lambton County. So we are working with the county on that effort already. So we support, I would say we support anything that anybody can come up with, but certainly there's action taken here in Lambton County already.
Yes, Councillor Monday.
Oh, no, I was gonna just make a motion, receive and file, if that's what you want to do, or do you want to do more?
I would like to see us support it, whether we just add our name to it. It's, something we should all get behind is ending homelessness, so.
So you want to have the letter sent in? Further letter?
Sure.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Sure.
Second by Councillor Burgess, all in favor? Okay. And then the third letter was the accuracy of the electors list. Anybody have a motion for that?
Again, I have a question on
Yep.
that. How do we affect that?
Again, it's kind of the same situation where like there's a lot of correspondence over many years.
Yeah.
Back and forth between the province and municipalities about the effectiveness of the current program. And so it's just kind of continuing to hammer that concern that we need to do something to improve this. It's kind of that idea that if you say nothing, they might think everything's hunky-dory, and there's definitely room for improvement. It doesn't hurt to send a letter saying this is an issue for us as well.
Okay. I'd like to support that. I would move to support that.
Okay, so we have a motion from Councillor Burgess to write a letter on that? Seconder? Let Mary Ann. You want to second that, Mary Ann? Okay, thank you.
Sure.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, on to item 14, communications, receive and file. We have 6 items.
I make a motion to receive and file items 1 to 6.
I'll second that.
Okay, any questions or comments on items 1 to 6? Yeah, I was just gonna say the annual St. Clair Region Conservation Authority report. I know Mayor Hand attended on my behalf and for representing
Yes.
us there. Appreciate it. Is there anything out of that
Thank you.
of interest or?
No, they recognized 3 individuals, and that was in the newspaper the other night that had done things like, one gentleman was, working with soft shell turtles in the river, like down by Wallsburg. And the other people were, working on conservation on their land with different waterways at the farm. And they gave awards for those initiatives at that dinner. And it was in the paper the other night. Actually, it was in Blackburn News. There was an article about it.
All in favor? Thank you. Item 15, we'll move to business. We have a request from the Rotary Club for hosting the Bridge and Waterfront breakfast in the Bridge and Waterfront Park on private land. We get a mover in a second, we can discuss it.
I'll move.
Okay,
Awesome.
thank you. Any discussion?
Well, we
Yeah.
want to support
Yeah.
the Rotary Club. They do good things with the fundraising and everything. And I know what they were looking for was an additional opportunity for fundraising. And I can see by our recommendation to approve this, that our staff's in favor. And
As long as they meet, they want to get a liquor license, a special occasion permit. So in order to do that, that's what's listed in there, and the recommendation is the different agencies that need to support that. So there have to be an approval of the plan by the fire department and the police. And all those.
yeah, and it's got Lambton Public Health, Building Services, and the OEP.
Building services from a erecting a tent standpoint.
Yeah.
Mayor Hand, you have comment?
Yes, I just want to add to this. So it is a different Rotary initiative, but the original Rotary group is not in opposition because the nature of the second event, the new event, is more of a higher level breakfast and mimosa and whatnot. And then Tanya Lee, who is Garvin Lee's daughter, she sent me a note to say she's an acting sergeant or corporal, I forget what the title is, with the military group, the Hussars. And they're supporting it, and they're going to be working the event as well. So it'll be kind of, these gentlemen in their uniforms and whatnot. So they're looking at it to be a fancy, little more upscale event.
And my only question was, sorry, go ahead.
Just a question. So usually there's the breakfast like thing before, so it's 2 different Rotary clubs that will be from what?
I think it's the same club, just 2 different groups within the same club.
Oh, okay.
organizing the
And they're
event.
not looking for a liquor license on both J's, just a second day.
It's same day,
Same day, same time.
Oh,
but just so,
But one's on the private land of Garvin Lee,
okay.
that he's letting them use it, or well, he's not, his family is. And the other one is the traditional breakfast down at the river. The timing will be different. I think the pancake breakfast runs a bit earlier.
Okay,
And it is the day of the race, not
right.
the day before.
I thought maybe they were.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my only question is, because this is on private property, is our approval more of a like,
so
is it nice to have? They
the
don't need
liquor-
our approval. right?
Well, they would need our approval for a liquor,
Special
that's where
occasion.
and then they'll also need it from fire
Okay.
for access and egress, they'll need it from building for the erection of the tent.
Yep.
So it's a little bit, like, the only difference, I mean, if it was going to be on our property, they would need to get our approval to be able to use the property.
Right, yeah.
So there's really not much difference.
Okay. And I think the proceeds are for affordable housing in the community, so it's a great thing for us as well. So all in favor then? Okay, that's carried. Thank you, Megan.
Okay, the next item on there, under new business, Sean Gray from Los Puntos is going to join us, I suggest around 5:30, so maybe we can skip his item.
Yep.
Move on. Third item, if I may, is the request to schedule time at the tennis court. So we've just added the 2 calendars onto our village website for booking the ball diamond and the field down at Waterfront Park for soccer, or football, or whatever. And we've had a request for the lady to book the tennis courts for pickleball. And my initial thought was, the idea was we build these courts and we weren't going to schedule the time. But I think when we're scheduling the other facilities, we maybe should at least give it some thought and see what, I sort of want to see what the lady was talking about me coming tonight and making a presentation, but something came up and she couldn't be here. So it's just a matter of, I think we courtesy right now, if there's somebody playing, if you're playing and somebody comes along, you just try to share around a little bit and give everybody a chance. This lady's concern is that we don't do scheduling, then, a group can come in and take over the courts for 3 or 4 hours and nobody else will be able to use them. So, the one concern I have with scheduling is enforcement of the schedule. I don't think that we've ever had issues at the ballpark, but just a little bit concerned if we do start scheduling and, Deputy Mayor there with his group and Councilor Jury comes along and says, well, I've got it booked, and she could show them I've booked it online, and in theory, if you just want it on, you should let Councilor Jury have it. So just those are a couple of the issues that I've identified with this. So I think in the past, it was just, there was some discussion at the time of construction of the tennis courts about just leaving them open for, you just take your chances and if they're available or not when you go. Just looking for some direction.
Any questions, Councilor Munder?
I was gonna make a motion that we refer it to the committee to get staff involved as well, because there's gonna have to be somebody to monitor this activity, I'm thinking,
Okay, so the motion is to refer it
to
to
operations committee.
and seconder for that. Okay, seconded. Any more discussion? Councilor Burgess?
We had
I have my hand up.
Okay, you're
Sorry.
next. Yep.
Okay,
group that came after we refurbished the tennis courts that was looking to do tennis lessons for youth. And I know there was discussion and we were gonna go into that, and then I think that was just before everything kind of shut down. And we never got around to it. I don't know if we heard back from that group of where we were going, if we were gonna book some time. And because I thought that was the initial discussion at that time, was that we were gonna consider scheduling lots of time for groups if they did want to do something organized.
But you said, you're absolutely correct. That gentleman was in and we were kind of right on the cusp of making the decision, and then the world changed and we didn't do anything, and he's been in, but he hasn't talked about that. So I'm not sure where that particular situation lies, but really no decision had been finalized about booking court time.
I thought we were on the verge of
I
coming
think,
up with something
yeah.
like that at that time, so this isn't really new.
I think the plan was certainly to allow his operation agreement. Now, it was a short-term thing too, but I think it was 2 or 3 weeks or something. and it
Yeah,
was,
they're gonna have the kids sign up for it and just do tennis instruction and
Yeah.
then let them play for a few weeks.
kind of a pilot
Yeah,
thing. He was just gonna try to see how it went. So it was a little like this. These people would like to book 2 or 3 days a week, a couple hours each morning.
weekdays or weekends.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's what she indicated she was interested in.
Okay, Mayor Hand?
well, now we're getting into resources again. And then, like, if we're gonna have to start monitoring and following a schedule and getting involved in who's playing, then I think we're gonna be having to look at user fees. Just as we talked about at the Ball Diamond. And I've never had a complaint so far on how we've operated or anything that's happened down there. Just saying, so, but if people start wanting to reserve it, then I think I'm gonna start thinking about this should be a cost to that.
Thank you.
But it's getting referred to committee anyway.
Yep, Councillor
I
Curran.
just wanted to make the comment.
Yep, thank you.
Do we know what happens? Because I know in Sarnia, they have quite a few pickleball like leagues that happen. Do they, like in Sarnia, are those courts reserved? Do they pay to play? Do you know?
I believe according to this lady, they're reserved. I don't know that for.
Maybe at committee, we could do some.
Blackwell is the only one that's reserved, and they charge $11.50 an hour. The rest of them.
They charge?
They charge. They're not, because that's the pickleball hub for the city, so they want to try to focus their pickleball out there.
Oh, okay.
But I think there are other courts in the city that use straw bins in the tennis. Straw bins.
So before we vote, I went down to the tennis courts today and read our rules of use sign that we put a lot of effort into, and it does state that the tennis courts are on a first come, first serve. If you arrive and other people are there, announce yourself, and people should limit their use to an hour and that thing. And then we do have a bullet that says no individual, group, club, or organization shall occupy the tennis courts for tournament play without written authorization. And application must be made 14 days in advance to the office. So this is not term, this is just, they want to get together and they want to make sure that when they show up at 8 o'clock, the court's theirs and nobody else. And if somebody's there with their family, they want to be able to boot them. I'm not, well, we'll bring it to committee, but I'm not a big fan of that, because as Mayor Hand said, now we're talking resources, so they call Public Works and say somebody's on the court, and how would they book it? Would they have to call the office to book it, or would we?
That's the way things work now, like people have access to the online calendar, so they can see what's available at the arena or either of the two fields.
Yeah.
So it'd be similar, they could go online, see, oh, if there's nobody booked from 3 till 5, I'd like to book that.
But it's just expecting people to check that before they drive down to Monk Street or walk over to play a little tennis or pickleball, and then get all set up, and then a group shows up thinking it's.
Yeah.
So we'll, yeah, I think the right people to bring it to committee.
This is time sensitive in any way. I realize. it's
Depends on the weather, right? Yeah. No, I think that's fine to, I mean, it's gone for years without, so if we take a little time and do it, make sure we try and research it, do it properly. Okay. It's fine.
And my only follow comment on that is, McCray Park is no A in McCray for that motion.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just MCCRA. All right. So all in favor of referring this to committee? Thank you. Number 4, home occupancy permit request at 709 Victoria Ave. Do we have a mover for that? Pardon? We have a mover,
I'll move.
seconder? Okay, that's very good. Do we want to hear from Jordan on this?
I'm sorry, Carrie.
Jared, I'm sorry. No, we want to hear from Jordan. Can you go get him? Yeah, come on up. Will.
Sure.
Jordan,
Here.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I've had worse than me.
His first time presenting and he gets called the wrong name.
I know. It's hard to take-
That'll be noted for further.
Yeah.
future.
it's hard to take a good care of short notice. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, so, it was just submitted by homeowner, Adriana Wallace. She's seeking a certificate of compliance for home occupation to occur at 709 Victoria Avenue. She wants it for a consulting business in her home. So it'd be in just one room in an office in her house, and, she wouldn't require a sign at all either. So, when I looked at this, and the proposed home occupation met the regulations in section 4.14 of the Point Edward zoning bylaw of home occupations. So. And I can read the definition of home occupation if that, or if you guys.
Yep.
It should mean any occupation conducted for gain or profit as an accessory use by a person or persons residing full-time within a permitted dwelling or a permitted dwelling unit, and shall include a bed and breakfast establishment and home childcare, but shall not include a childcare center. So it also, so this meets that definition as well. Yeah, so, and she also, yeah, like I mentioned before, there is no sign that is gonna be put on the front part of the yard. So,
No additional parking.
no additional parking. There's 3 parking spots already on the property, and she's just gonna use those existing parking spots.
Okay, so Jared's report was attached. Is there any questions at all of Jared? Mary Ann? Oh, okay. That was a yes. You want
No,
to,
I appreciate the fact that this request, she followed all the right channels and made herself known. And I understand it's counseling and she's doing one patient at or one client at a time. So it doesn't have a lot of traffic coming and going. And that's generally the thing that you would be concerned about. So that, it sounds good.
okay, anyone else? All right, all in favor? Thank you, so carried.
Thanks, Jared.
Thanks, Jared.
We'll
We're
bring
gonna
the
say
other
your name.
planner Jordan next time.
We're gonna say your name over and over.
The rest of us all need-
Thanks, Jared.
Thank you.
Yeah, take
Thank you,
care.
Jared.
All right, the next item is an amended sidewalk cafe and food carts policy. Jared involved in
No, he wasn't. No.
But Jordan,
that? Yeah.
So this came about as a request from a local business owner that would like to start this cafe, bicycle cafe. So we have an existing policy that allows cafes, which we'll discuss shortly, in front of existing businesses. So I've made a few changes to the bylaw that would allow them to operate. So I've added that, like the rule is that they use a piece of sidewalk right in front of their business. I sort of added that exemptions to this rule must be approved by council. So this would be that case where the proponent comes in and asks to do something a little bit different and council would have to approve it or deny it. I've added in this, any portion of a sidewalk or public space that council deems appropriate. So the request in this case is to be in Waterfront Park with this bicycle. So that would be what the agreement is with this proponent, would be that she could operate within the confines of Waterfront Park. So fairly simple amendments to allow what this proponent is wanting to do. And then also I added at the end of it that council reserves the right to limit the number of sidewalk cafes or street food vending carts. So when this was first put back in place back in 2009 or 2010, it was limited to two sidewalk cafes. And that was kind of a pilot program. We've only ever had 2. We've had one at Los Puntos and one at the coffee shop. No.
Oh, Savco.
Bottoms up.
No.
Savco.
Bottoms up is on their own property.
Yeah.
That's a different one. Okay.
So those are the 2 that we've had. I'm not sure that the 2 ever ran at the same point, but anyway, we haven't had requests from others either, so. Those are the recommendations. Those are the changes that I'm recommending, and then there's a bylaw later on to implement those changes if council wishes to.
Through the chair, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Councilman.
This card, is it strictly manual powered? There's no motor on it?
I don't believe so.
Because anything with a motor is not allowed on our trail system.
I can verify that.
So
Looks like it, like
it doesn't look like it, but
Gonna pedal that around all
No, it's
I
being
thought they were
built.
waiting. I don't think it exists. That was sort of a prototype photo the way I read it. So they could say this is our idea.
Yeah.
But I don't think it exists yet because they wanted to wait for the approval.
And would we allow an electric assist? That's a lot of weight to pedal around. Yeah,
currently now we don't.
No, but you can make exceptions, as Jim pointed out. So we should go back to them and ask them.
Yeah.
Are you planning any type of motor to propel it? And then give us some details on that, and then we can. Right, I think we'd be okay with like a, if those e-bikes that have a
Yeah.
little bit of,
I mean, our bylaw doesn't allow them. We don't enforce that. I mean, as long as people are treating others with respect and not driving around recklessly, we haven't. You know, there are people on the path that have those electric assist motors. But technically they're not allowed.
Just if I can make a comment on that, that is
Okay.
a topic at our Trails Committee meetings.
Yeah.
Because there's multiple trails in the, I think, in the county that, these bikes or whatever are being used, and there's a question is, you know, are they allowed? And I know in the village, they're not, so. Anyways, just bringing it up.
Mary Ann, comment?
So it was my understanding that they're not motorized. And just the other point that we wanted to cover off on this is this is an existing village business that's paying rent and taxes on that building. So it's not the same as a group that come into town that don't have that investment. So we're supporting an existing business with their request.
Okay, so does somebody have a motion besides that?
So, yeah, I guess a question, if the answer is that this bike is held power only and not system, are we okay with it? Or what are we okay with it? Are we gonna say no if it's not? And I just need to know like that. Or do you want to hear back before we make a decision?
I think if it's a pedal bike with an electric assist motor, I would be okay with that, but not solely an electric motor. So that when they're going up a hill or they get underway, they can, like, a lot of the new bikes have it where you just push a button to get you going and then you continue to pedal. That's my personal thing, because that's. But. I don't know, consensus.
That's hours of operations for like. is there-
In her letter, she talked about being there in the mornings.
And then get in the afternoon, so in the morning with coffee, then in the afternoon with like iced coffee, so do a sort of a route with these drinks and refreshments.
I'm in favor of it. I think it's someone thinking outside the box, trying to enhance their business, and I think it's great. I don't anticipate whoever's operating at Hot Rod on the trail is carrying their products, so
Yeah,
I don't think we should go ahead and give them that approval to
Not your favorite.
get it going.
Yeah, get it going.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we just doing direction or a motion?
Then, yeah, a
Okay,
motion.
does somebody want to bring a motion forward?
I'll
Okay,
move
Councilor
that
Buckus.
we support the, what we're gonna say, revamped, street bylaw for vendors.
I guess, you know what,
Is
as
it
far as
more
the
about the
report
bylaw?
goes, yeah. Just, you can just receive and file a report and then you pass.
Okay,
Okay, all right.
motion to receive and file.
I'll second that.
And do you want the direction added to that we're okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, you got it, okay.
Okay.
And I
Okay,
will,
this
like,
is-
this policy that's brought up right now, I will remove that part about the pilot project. I'll
Yeah, okay.
take that all.
Okay.
All right,
Okay, all in favor? Thank you, Marion. Yeah, because it is Taco Tuesday, we'll now go back to item 2, which is patio application by Los Pintos. So, good.
yep, so this, Sean has submitted a request. Is it just 1 year or 2 that you haven't had a patio at the front? Just one, I think.
No, two
Two.
now,
So prior to that, for probably 5 or 6 years, there's been a patio in front of Los Puntos Cantina and the previous operators. When the government put in their rules to allow for parking lot patios, the operators here chose not to use the front of the building. Their plan going into 2023 is to use kind of the front. They'd like to use the front patio in the daytime, afternoon, and then the parking lot in the evening on a bit smaller scale than they've had in the past years. And also, no tent. They're not planning on putting up a tent in their parking lot either, which is, as far as that goes, that's just there'll be no requirement for a building permit for that.
Okay, so we need a.
And there's, yeah, there's just questions.
So somebody will move the recommendation and then we'll second and discuss it.
Sure, I'll move that.
Councilor Burge move it, Councilor Mondu second, oh, Mayor Hand seconded it. Sorry, hand first. Okay, any discussion on this then?
I have a question, it's kind of off topic,
I
but
see you, Mayor Hand, yep.
just the bicycle thing. I was in Detroit last summer for a baseball game and they had like a mobile bar. And I don't know if that's provincial laws or anything like that, and I just.
You know what, we talked about it, the problem with it is, it's. Even though it's been changing as far as like we can now sell liquor to go. The problem with it is, how do you license that moving?
Have you seen them? I got.
Oh, I've been on the one in Detroit several times.
Yeah. And I was mesmerized by it as we drove by and everybody's peddling
Oh,
their
yeah.
thing and they're serving beverages. on
So
it.
if that's actually allowed, we'll come back here in a month. We'll keep it aside Point Edward, we'll do it.
I-
100% we'll do it.
I'd ask that,
Yeah.
for the bicycle,
Yeah.
that was my only.
Okay. The Mayor Hand has a comment, she's coming in by Zoom.
I have a question about music. So, you know that you have neighbors right behind you. I've
Yes,
had comments made about volume and,
Yes.
and impact on neighbors. So what's the plan as far as music goes?
so last year we had complaints for the first time. The reason was because we had people set up by the street facing back. And actually, I didn't know that until the end of August, when I actually talked to a person that she could hear music in her house more than before. It didn't occur to me. But we're gonna cut that back. We're not gonna do that very much this year. If we do, it's gonna be like a solo person. Except for the odd event that we might do, might be like on a Saturday till like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Or once a month. Like, yeah, once a month, and the stage will be at the back and it'll face towards the street. We're not planning on doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday entertainment anymore. It'll be kind of like here and there. Yeah. There'll be music, there'll be low music for dinner, but not like a band or anything like that. Yeah. Yeah, there's,
No tent, if I'm there, will you give me like an umbrella for rains or?
yeah, lots of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions then?
If I made the other comment, I'm gonna request a certificate of insurance.
Yep.
I'm not, I don't see that we've had that in the past, but we've required it, but I was being on municipal property, we should have that.
No, I sent it with the last
Okay.
patio for the front.
Okay.
Yeah, I did send it with the last one. I actually looked it
So
up
you're
today.
used to that, okay.
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah, no problem.
I need that.
So we are asking for the front.
Mhm.
And then also the back, but not at the same time.
Right, and not as big the back, right? A couple of
Yeah,
tables.
we're gonna go from 16 to 10. Yeah. Tables.
Is that just for like staffing and maybe
It's-
manageable or?
It's staffing and turnover.
Right,
Because if we had issues in the kitchen, then it would be a bottleneck, and then we realized that people were staying there too long. We were trying to like make it better for our customers.
right, right. Okay. Call the vote, all in favor? All right, good, all good, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Wish you a good season.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
So now we want to.
Yeah, you're good to go, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Not sure if coffee is the next one. All right, see you
If
soon.
you come by after, I'll treat you.
Okay, okay, do that. Number 6, the Water Pollution Control Plant Annual Report.
This is just a receive and file, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just
And it
information.
goes on our website if anybody else wants to read it, to see. Okay, I'll move to receive and file.
Councilor Burgess and Councilor Mondu. Any discussion or questions? No, all in favor? Okay, thank you. Number 7 is cybersecurity. This was brought to us by Councilor Mondu. Jim, you've written a report on this.
Yeah, so I've reached out, our IT provider didn't seem too overly concerned about I mean, specifically TikTok is what we talked about. But so he wasn't already concerned with it as a security risk. But I checked with the county IT department and they have banned it on all of their devices, all their county-owned devices. So some of them, I believe, my understanding is they have software. I don't know if you can confirm that or not, but they have a software that can block the download of it on, and I think you can do that on computers. I'm not sure you can do it on iPhones or mobile phones. But anyway, I think we should just take the step to ask employees to remove it. They're using village-owned devices. You can ask them to remove it and hopefully just with that, rather than, spending money to put some kind of a block on a phone, hopefully we can just be successful with putting a policy in place. I don't know if anybody has it or not on their village-owned devices.
Move it.
I'll move that all employees be instructed to remove TikTok from all village-owned devices.
Seconder. Okay, Councilor Drury. I just have a couple quick questions. How will you enforce this?
I mean, I think you just tell them it's a policy, ask them to remove it if it's concerned. I kind of doubt it's going to be, but and then if there's a written policy in place, if something happens and there's a problem, that's, I think we're putting, by doing it that way, we're putting a little trust in our employees that they're going to follow the policy. And we do provide these phone, we pay for the phone, we pay for the service plan. So I think it's not a lot to ask.
So you will be creating a policy based on the
Yeah.
counties and sharing it with staff?
Yeah.
Okay. And does the county have a punishment? if
So
you
the
don't?
county doesn't even have a policy.
Okay,
They do it by this software that allows block. They just, and I believe the manager of IT told me there was one person in the county that had to take it off their device. It wasn't, and they're hundreds of eighties, right? So,
yeah.
so Ken took it off his phone and everything was fine.
Do that right.
It's Jordan.
Thanks, Glenn.
It's Jordan.
Right.
I know, you're Jared. I was talking about Jordan.
Yeah, or the TikToker.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess it only takes one.
Yeah.
That my hope is that we'll put the policy in place.
I would also think that we're not a big target of espionage and
Right.
counterterrorism secrets here in the village, but at the same time,
Cybersecurity is a big issue,
everywhere,
right, everywhere right now. And it's getting to be more of an issue.
Yeah.
So we'll do our share to minimize the impact if anything happens. It's wonderful.
Actually, this motion creates the policy, so this motion approved, then the policy is in place and
Okay, so that extends our new business. We do have, at the last, what's that? Oh, vote, yeah, sorry, all in favor? My first day. I did okay up till now.
Jordan's
He's in
not,
training.
Yeah,
Jordan's not here to help you. So.
not as easy as it looks, is it? And then we have, yes, community events and public announcements. Anybody have anything for that? Council Monty?
I've got something here. This weekend is the Point Edward Skating Club, Ice Reflections 2023. Showtimes are Saturday 2 and 7, Sunday at 2. And Saturday night, there is Michael Marinero and Kristen Moore Towers, are performing. So come out and support. Go ahead, Mayor.
I thought they were performing in Sarnia.
Well, it says on.
I read
there-
an article that said Sarnia's having their skating activity for the first time, and I thought,
I think what I read was,
think they're doing
they are
that
coming to
for-
only one of our shows.
Yeah.
They're probably doing. a
okay, then I'm going to both then.
Yeah, I think they're doing
7
both.
PM show on Saturday night.
Yeah,
Is what I.
No, that's great, because I thought it meant that he wasn't coming to Point Everett and he was there last year. So that's
Yeah.
great.
I-
So
think-
somebody can go on and cheer my granddaughter, so I'll feel better.
Okay,
That's all I had.
all right. Councilor Drury. Okay, Councilor Burgess. Mayor Hand, do you have anything?
No, Easter in the park. Just take note of that. If anybody, at Canatera, they're doing the Easter in the Park event. I think it's the 9th. Is that Easter?
Yeah, I think it's Saturday. Thought I was told it's Saturday.
Usually the Saturday.
Yeah.
This is usually the Saturday.
Okay, so I just have two quick items. One is St. Pat's Cyclone Aid is this weekend on Saturday. The students be coming around 9 till 12. If you have non-perishable food items, leave on your porch and they'll grab them and go. The other one is Blue Water Bridge Authority announced that they're closing one of the spans starting July 5th through to October 23rd. And all traffic will go in one span. There'll only be one lane into the US, 2 lanes coming home. So it's going to be yeah. So it's going to be a congested summer for the bridge and possibly some spillover into the villages when all gets when the bridge gets backed up. So just so everyone's aware of that. And then this should have been under new business, so I apologize. But our tennis courts, when I was over there today, I wondered, do we have a plan? The weather's nice. Yeah, nice weather. Is there any chance we can clean them up and get them open or get the nets up? I don't know what the plan was. But
Yeah, I don't know.
it used to be like almost May 2 for a weekend before we do that. I'm just wondering if it's possible.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Oh, one more thing.
Yep, go ahead.
Parking ban ends April 1st, which is
Yes.
this weekend.
Okay. Thank you. Now we have bylaws. Bylaw 13.
I'll move that one.
Councilor Burgess.
Move the bylaw number 13 of 2023 being the bylaw to amend the cafe and food cart policy be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed this 28th day of March 2023.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor? You have the agenda with you, Mary Ann?
I do.
You want to move bylaw 15?
She probably doesn't have it.
Oh, yeah, that's we added. that.
Oh, yes, I do. I have bylaw 14.
Mayor Hand, I added one to authorize the execution of a
The grant.
grant,
Yeah, the grant. Okay.
Are you okay?
So you
moving
need
that?
bylaw 15?
please.
Yeah. Okay,
So
so
you can read it out for me.
Mayor Hand is moving bylaw 15, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of the Safe Restart Agreement, phase 4. She's asking that it be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed this 28th of March 2023. Seconder?
I'll do it again.
Okay, Councilor Mondo, all in favor? For curiosity, say what happened to bylaw 14?
That's.
It's coming up.
It's
Oh, it's
came in
coming
so
up.
late.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Next.
That's 15.
It has to be the ending.
Gotcha. Okay. Confirmation bylaw?
I'll move that bylaw 14 of 20. Huh? Yeah, I do.
What's going on here?
It's under, it's item 21.
There you go. The bylaw 14 of 2023 being a bylaw to confirm the resolutions of Point Everett Council, which were adopted up until including March 28th. Read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed on this day, March 28th, 2023.
Seconder? Councilor Drury? Okay. All in favor? Yeah, and I think it's only appropriate that Mayor Hand motion us to adjourn.
Wow, well, Greg, record time, 5:53. Motion to adjourn.
And Council, seconder by Councilor Burgess, all in favor? Thank you.